Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I would doubt it. But, I mean,
Because that would be stupid.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
I approve this measure.
I really, 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 really don't see Apple ever doing that. I am Nadella.
I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host today. My name is Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hello.
And we are here to talk all things tech, at least for this week.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe next week. Maybe the week after. We'll see.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
How?
Well, not today, but, you know.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Anyway, enough of the shenanigans, Caleb. Landon's got some news for us. Landon,
I guess.
take it away.
Okay, so we're going to take a trip down memory lane.
Ooh,
I know Wes usually does this segment, but I'm going to go ahead and do it for him.
which time machine?
20 years ago.
Oh, didn't even answer the
boy.
question.
I don't care about the time machine.
Come on, everyone cares about the time
DeLorean,
machine.
always.
Oh, he picked the right one.
Is there another option?
He picked the right
Really?
one.
There is the Time Machine from The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. Come on, guys.
That's
OG
funny.
time travel.
You know what was
That's where
really
it all
funny?
started.
Okay, I got to tell you this. Actually, speaking of time machine, sorry.
Crap. Sorry,
Tangent
my
of a
bad.
tangent. I was watching this video. It was on YouTube. It was like cartoon, but it was just a parody video. Well, it was this guy and his brother, and he's just sitting there. They're like, "Hey, we need to go back in time and go do this." Well, what they did is all of a sudden they opened the door to the Doctor Who time machine. What is that called? The TARDIS.
The TARDIS, yeah.
And they get in, and the next scene shows them in the DeLorean. Like they're in the DeLorean, and then they're like, "All right, let's go to 88 miles an hour." And then they do that, and they go, psh, and all of a sudden it beams them out like the Star Trek, and then just beams them back in time. And I was like, "What the heck did I just watch right there? In those 3 seconds." It was the most coolest thing I've ever seen. Sorry, I thought it was funny. Open the door to the TARDIS in the DeLorean, then get beamed out of the Star Trek.
Wow.
I thought you'd appreciate that, Caleb.
I mean, I don't consider the starships in Star Trek to be the best time machines because whenever they do time travel, like everything goes horribly wrong and stuff tends to
True.
explode and people die and it's not great.
I thought it was funny. Sorry, side note. But you can continue, Landon.
Okay, continuing on. So, 20 years ago, this past week. Well, okay, that's a lie. I'm going to step back. Google is celebrating this week 20 years of Google.
True.
They actually became a company like September 4th of 1998.
Wow.
But they are celebrating this week 20 years of Google.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy to think that Google's been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
But at
Just
the
how
same
much
time,
of-
it's hard to remember a time without Google.
Well, and just so much of an impact they've had in 20 years.
Yeah.
Of just to the world. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with this celebration of 20 years of Google, they have done a few things. They have a 20-year video / Google Doodle. If you go to Google online, it'll show the new Doodle and click it, and it shows a little video of different things, and it's kind of fun. They also have a street view thing of the original Google headquarters, which was a garage and a few rooms inside of a house. And you can go inside of this area and like look around, and it's pretty interesting
That is
to
cool.
see. They've got like 6 or 7 computers set up, and
And that was your search right there.
that was Google search.
Wow.
But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. Google is 20.
20 years.
Yep. And another thing that I want to bring up for back in time, this is a little more recent. 10 years ago, this past week, T-Mobile and Google partnered up and launched the first Android phone, the G1.
I remember that
Oh,
phone.
yeah.
I remember I wanted this phone.
My brother got this phone.
It was a cool phone.
You know what, actually, what was interesting? I think the G1, yes, I was either going to get a G1 or the new Windows 7 phone at that time.
Ah, yes.
And guess which one I went with?
I'm guessing the Windows.
You got it, dude. No, but my brother got the G1. It was pretty cool. That was the, if I remember, didn't it also slide at the top? It was like
had a slide-out keyboard.
Yeah.
So I just want to go through and read out the specs for this phone
Oh,
Oh,
no.
boy.
because I got a pretty good kick out of
no.
these. So it had a 3.2-inch 320 by 480 screen.
Yeah.
It ran Android 1.6 Donut,
Boss.
which actually was a relatively decent operating system for its time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't horribly well, okay, it was quite a bit different from what we have now, but there were some things that were on it then that are still there, like widgets were a thing on Android from the beginning. The notification shade was somewhat similar back then. It also came pre-installed with Gmail and Google Maps, which
That's right.
was a big thing.
That was huge.
And it had GPS on board, so, it made maps even better.
At this time, wasn't Google Maps on Apple too?
Google Maps was on the iPhone originally, yes.
Just trying to remember.
It's no longer pre-installed on the iPhone thanks to Apple Maps.
Nope.
You have
Nope.
to download that separately.
That's right.
Okay, the processor on this was a Qualcomm MSM 7201A.
Oh, man.
I'm makes me very happy that now it's just like Snapdragon 80
Some number.
Yeah.
It's much easier to say. That's one thing in tech that naming has gotten better. Processors.
Processors? Yes, that's true, actually.
And I'm fine with that because obviously I don't want to have to
Say
read an
that.
8-digit number every time I read a processor because that's a pain. It had a micro SD slot, which was fairly common on Android phones and still is on some today. Mm-hmm. It's not as common anymore, but it was definitely a thing back then. It had 192 megabytes of RAM.
Whoa.
Wow.
And
Killer.
a 256 megabyte hard drive.
And that's why the micro SD slot was so common on Android phones back then.
Yes.
If you wanted to take pictures or anything, you had to have one.
You had to have one. Yes.
Even to have some sort of music, you had
Yeah.
to have
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It had a 3.15 megapixel camera. Only a rear camera because the front-facing cameras were not a thing back then.
Yes. Yep.
And where I saw it, it said video, and all it said was yes. So it took video.
Which is actually a step better than the original iPhone.
Yes, it did not do
Yep.
video.
The original iPhone did
Yes.
not shoot video, though there were the original, like the first iteration of the App Store would actually introduce apps that would let you take video. And what they would do is they would basically open up the camera app and then do a screen recording
Yeah.
of the camera app while it was shooting video. And that was
That's
how they
funny.
captured video. It was literally the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Oh, it had, going back to the specs on the G1, it had Bluetooth 2.0.
Yes.
It had a removable 1150 milliamp hour battery,
Removable.
and it had 5 physical buttons on the front of the device. It had a menu button, a call button, an end button, and a home and back button.
Oh, dedicated call and end buttons. I love
Yes.
it. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yep.
And my favorite part of this phone was the scroll ball.
I was just saying,
Oh,
I remember to have
yeah.
that scroll.
Kind of playing, fun with the BlackBerry fans.
Yep.
Trying to
Yep.
get them to switch over to this phone.
And it worked.
It worked really well. Well, it worked getting people to this phone, but the scroll ball itself worked pretty well. I was impressed with it.
I was trying to remember. I remember something with this phone, like, couldn't this phone actually view desktop web app or desktop, like on the web or something? Like there was something significant that it was like.
Well, the
really
scroll ball was really handy because browsing the internet on a phone back then
was
terrible. And there weren't mobile websites like there are today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to click on pretty much anything on a website, it was really small, or you had to zoom in really well, and it didn't work very well at all.
That's right.
So having a scroll ball like that made it a little bit easier.
I think because I remembered something like that. My brother was like, "Check this out," and was like, "I can do all this stuff on my phone now. I don't know, why do I need a computer?" I'm like, "Well, it's a game, silly."
Yes, games were not a thing for phones back then. At least not
cow.
not decent games for smartphones. At least. And the price on this phone, if you bought it on a 2-year contract, was $179, and if you bought it off contract, it was $399.
Wow, it's like $100 cheaper than the iPhone.
Yeah, and was probably what they
That's
were
probably
going
why
for.
they did that.
Yeah, yep.
Because I think iPhone was coming out with something too, wasn't it? Like,
And that started a trend that never quite stopped.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, this is basically the iPhone except $100 cheaper.
And the other benefit to this phone in 2008 was that it had a 3G modem in it.
Yeah.
That's something that they had on top of the iPhone, because at that time the iPhone was still on 2G. It was in 2009, I believe, that the 3GS came out.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Because
For the 3G.
The
not
original
3GS.
the original iPhone was announced in early 2007 and released in like super late 2007.
Yeah.
And then the 3G was released in early 2009. I want to say they hadn't really settled on their release schedule for the updated iPhones at that point, and so it was like just over 18 months or just under 18 months difference between those two, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then it was like 8 months before the 3GS was released or something like that. It was kind of stupid. Apple still does do some stupid things with their devices, and that's not a new thing.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
They were just less consistent about their stupidity then.
At least their naming was pretty good, right?
It's still debatable.
I mean, the iPhone 3G is literally an iPhone with a 3G modem in it. So yes, I agree. That's great naming. The iPhone 3GS.
That's what started the bad naming for iPhones.
Yeah, that it was all downhill from there. Well, no, because the iPhone 4 was the fourth iPhone. It literally was. There was the iPhone, the iPhone 3G, which was 2, the iPhone 3GS, which was 3, and then iPhone 4.
Yes.
And then 4S, because we're stupid. And then 5, because we just gave up. And it's all been downhill since then.
Well, at least they did get the iPhone 10 was the 10th iPhone.
I mean, yeah, technically.
But
they also branded it with an X.
Yeah.
And then they named the follow-up the XS because they're idiots. Anyways, I'm never going to get over that.
I started prying to that tangent. I really was.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So that's all my Google news.
Which is good. Those are cool things.
It's not really news. It's just letting people know.
Reminiscing.
Google and Android have both come a long ways.
Well, just phone technology. You read off those specs, I'm like... And I remember, because in my mind, when you said that phone, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that was like a flagship phone, really good. And then you start reading those specs. I'm like, oh, like video, yes. Like,
yeah,
that explains it.
Well, I mean, I love going back and watching the original iPhone keynote for multiple reasons, but also to see how excited they were for the stuff that it could do.
Oh, yeah.
Like multi-touch on a phone. Was amazing. Yes. Everyone just was cheering for that.
It blew their mind.
What was crazy about it is that like he's talking about multi-touch and he's talking about like all that stuff and like people were clapping for the demos and like zooming in on pictures and that kind of thing. It was like so much better and people clapped, but like the reaction was kind of tepid. But then you get to the stuff where it's all like, and this is how you check your voicemail. And he just like tapped on the voicemail and held it up to his ear, and everyone blew up because they knew how obnoxious it was to check your voicemail on current cell phones.
Yep.
And they're like, that's the best thing ever. It was like the stuff that was legitimate improvements over technology that currently existed instead of brand new technology. That was the stuff that got the most reaction at that keynote. And it's really funny because it's stuff now that we're just like, that is literally the dumbest thing. Like, it's so obvious.
Well,
why would you ever do that differently?
Wasn't that the same one where he was like, you could look up this pizza place and call him. Hey, let's do it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he did.
Yep.
And he's like, I need to order like 5,000 pizzas. Oh, just kidding. And then hangs up.
It was Starbucks.
Or
it was
yes,
Starbucks.
yes,
He
it was
ordered
Starbucks.
Starbucks. He's like, I need to order 5,000 coffees. Ha, no, just kidding. And then hang up. And that was like an actual Starbucks. And like, how awesome would it be to have been that employee to be like, yeah, I was the one that Steve Jobs called from that keynote.
Yeah.
Well, like, I remember because everyone, like, their minds, like, blew up. They lost it. Their minds, like, you can do that. And now that's just a normal smartphone
it's totally
thing.
obvious. Oh my gosh. The way we think about modern chat, right? Like when you're texting or when you're in a voice or a chat or something like that, like Facebook Messenger and that kind of thing, just like that style that kind of started like way back in the AIM days, right? So AOL Instant Messenger, like that format being applied to text messages. Nobody had ever done that. Nobody like, you remember getting text messages from people, like you'd read it and then you'd go back out and hit new text message, and then you'd have to text it. And if you had to remember something that they had said, you had to go back out, go back into the message and pull it back. It was like, you know, it was like really stupid. And so just having all of them in a list right there, I remember watching the keynote and everyone's like, that's so cool. And I'm like, that's so obvious. Why did nobody else think of this before? Like, anyways, it's a really funny keynote to go back and watch, because the stuff that we were all like, oh yeah, this changed the future, they should really be screaming about this, they're kind of like, yay. And then the stuff that it's all like, this is the most obvious solution to a stupid problem that never should have existed in the first place, they're like, whoa.
Losing their minds.
It's weird.
It's
Good times.
So we're recommending to go watch that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I recommend watching any old tech keynotes.
Yeah, go
They're
watch
all
old tech keynotes. They're so much fun. They're
Even
great.
like old iMac or heck, just Macintosh keynotes from back in the day. Those are really fun to watch too.
The original iBook keynote, go watch that, because that's the one where they introduced the airport and like the concept of wireless networking in the home. That was the first place that existed, the old iBook keynote, and they make Phil Schiller jump off of a balcony. And it's great. Go watch it. It's so much fun.
I might have to do that.
The original iBook keynote, one of Steve Jobs' best ones. I like it a lot.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the next little thing that I have is kind of general tech news. Not Qualcomm, definitely not Qualcomm. Oculus. Definitely different.
A little bit.
They had an event this past week, and the only thing that I really cared about that they announced was the Oculus Quest.
Yeah.
And this is something that is kind of between the Oculus Go, which is their low-end standalone VR headset, and the Oculus Rift, which is something you have to have a decent computer to hook up to in order to really use. So the Oculus Quest is a wireless VR headset. Like I said, it's kind of between the Go and the Rift. It has 6 degrees of freedom, which means like where the Oculus Go, you can look around, but you can't really move around. This one, you can actually move around inside whatever you're doing in VR, and you will move, in the game or in whatever you're doing. It has sensors on the headset to do that. You don't need the cameras or sensors like you would with a Rift or an HTC Vive, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
This comes with the touch sensors, so like the controllers that you use with it. It's supposed to launch in spring of 2019 with more than 50 games available for it at launch. and it'll be $399, which is the same price as the Oculus Rift without having to buy or have a gaming PC to go with it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a standalone device. I think,
if you're in the market for any of these, I would go for this one.
Yeah. I think that this one makes the most sense because it is a standalone device, which means it's wireless, which means it actually makes sense. Because that's still the biggest problem that I have with the Rift, with the Vive, with the PSVR, like all that stuff. You're tethered. It's not right. Like, the only types of games that those make sense for are like flight sims, which... Okay, that actually makes a ton of sense because in a plane or a fighter jet or whatever, you're sitting down. So if you're sitting on your couch or in your chair wearing one of these headsets, cool, that makes sense. But this thing actually means you'll be able to get up, move around, and like unlike the Oculus Go, you can actually like interact, like move around in the environment and kind of interact with stuff that way. And it doesn't require a huge setup. It actually feels like this is the VR console, quote unquote, that might actually make VR make sense.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
And
I'm pretty excited.
From what I understand, it's supposed to, like, the majority of the games that are already available for the Oculus Rift should work with this, which is convenient. I'm sure there's some that, like, the ones that are a little more power hungry may not, just because of, you know, the built-in headset rather than going from a computer.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're saying more than 50 games at launch, that's quite a bit of games already, just right there.
Yeah.
So, and it'll have access, like it'll work with any of the YouTube VR videos that are already available, which there's thousands upon thousands of those. So, I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good deal for $399. For what you get.
You won't have to buy a big PC or cameras.
Yeah, you don't have to buy that extra stuff. It's just all there, ready to go.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not
this
bad at
is, like Caleb was saying, this is kind of what we've been waiting for with VR.
Yeah.
To really make more sense. You don't have to have like basically a dedicated room for VR. You can kind of do this in a sense wherever. I would recommend not doing it in a room with lots of furniture or people.
Well, but
Bingo.
I mean, the awesome thing is you can like take it into your garage, like move the car out. There you go, big open space. Like,
Yeah.
you can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
Go take it to like, you know, your local school and go into the gymnasium and just like stand there with a giant thing on your face, wandering around and
There you
gesturing randomly. I'm sure nobody will
probably
call the
happen.
cops on you. Like that will definitely be fine.
Do it in a park.
Yeah.
Just do it in a public park where people can watch you just
Yes.
flailing around like a crazy person.
Yep. And film you doing it. I'm sure that this will not in
naturally.
any way be a hilarious new fad on YouTube, is filming people outside using these things.
Why not?
Yes.
Make lots of money. Let's do it.
Yeah.
YouTube fame from watching people fail. That's never been an idea, right?
No.
Nope. Totally original, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and let's move on, if that's everything.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and move on over here to Microsoft a little bit. If Caleb needs to go bar for something, he can. You know, he loves the Microsoft. Just messing. Microsoft had an event over in Orlando. They're one of their events that they're having these next few months. It was Ignite. It was about AI, IT, and 365 is what they call it. So I'm just going to basically kind of go over kind of the big things that are coming out of this. One of the big things, obviously, is Cortana skills for enterprise. They're just bringing more of her skills for anything for that. The next is the Surface Hub 2S and the Surface Hub 2X.
Oh
Naming.
my gosh.
Naming.
Oh my gosh. Why? Why? What? Oh. Okay,
So-
I am gonna go barf. I will be in the bathroom.
I knew he
puking.
was.
Just excuse me.
I was hoping I could just say that and move on, but I was going to see if he'd catch that. Yep, he did. So the Surface Hub 2S is the beginner, or what do we call it? one with the less hardware specs, and obviously the 2X is the one with the better hardware specs.
Are you sure it's not 210?
Well, since they've... You know what? I'm not sure. We'll see how the trend happens, if it's 2X or 210.
Yes.
Are you okay over there?
This is just ridiculous. I don't even know like what technology is anymore. It's just
Well, they're on their way to rolling this out. So we will see the actual Surface Hub 2, the 2S model in 2019, which will have an updated of the original, basically, of the original Surface, but just with better specs. And obviously the 2X will be have more hardware specs. They haven't released them, but they were showcasing them, and a lot of people, developers, and I know Paul Thurrott was there, so he was kind of talking about it. So pretty cool. He thought. He didn't give a lot of detail, which they're not yet, but. And then the next thing is Microsoft Search. Now, a while ago we had talked about.
I thought this was called Bing.
Right. Now.
Sorry.
As just like Google.
Oh boy.
Microsoft does a lot of, except there's, you know how Google has a bunch of apps that all do the same thing, but they don't talk to each other?
Right.
Microsoft does this with their search, which is Bing, Edge, Office, Windows 10. So now, if you guys remember a while ago, we talked about Microsoft Graph.
Yes.
To where they're trying to link everything all together. This Microsoft Search is a part of the Graph, which will now link all these things together. So when you search in Bing, or when you search in Edge, or Office, or Windows 10, you should all have the same. Is kind of what they're saying. So they're calling it, in a nutshell, Microsoft Search on this portion.
Gotcha.
So a lot of people were very excited about this.
That makes sense. I mean, Google has done this same thing for a little while now, where if you, on your phone especially, if you go into the search, like just into Google search, it will search everything on your phone if you wanted to.
Right.
Like you can just type in something, it'll go either for apps, for music, for photos, for contacts, whatever. It'll search all that stuff, it's really convenient. And I could see that being really awesome on Microsoft, especially, say, for business.
Yep.
Or like if you're a company and you have Microsoft, all the Microsoft suite and everything set up in your company, all you have to do is just search for something and it'll just search the network and it'll just work and it'll be great. I like that idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's smart.
That makes a lot of sense because they've spent all of this time developing algorithms for something like Bing to process the entire internet, and then you go into, say, a Word document or a SharePoint site or like Windows Explorer, just like on a server or something like that, and you type in some search terms, and the crap it gives you back is just like the most useless garbage in the history of useless garbage. And you're just like, why can't you use the same algorithms for your web search on everything else? Like, boy, wouldn't that make everything better? And, a couple of years ago, Apple finally did that on macOS, because macOS has had Spotlight for years and years and years, and it's always done a pretty good job. But they took the algorithms that they were using in Spotlight, and they put them into Siri, so that Siri's searching on your phone was as good as Spotlight on your Mac. And then they took Siri's voice processing from your phone and put that onto your Mac so that your Mac's voice processing was now as good as your phone's. And it was like, boy, this is the most obvious thing in the world. Why isn't everyone doing this? And it turns out that Google already was at that point to a certain extent. And now Microsoft is too. So, yay.
So, hop on that bandwagon. So,
yes.
Thought that was good since they use a lot of their stuff. So, and a lot of other people. And this Ignite did have a lot more other things on there. Obviously, they're looking at their Azure Sphere public preview, the SQL servers, and things like that. And if you know you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but so that's why I didn't really touch on them. But
I know the words that you're talking about.
You said words I've heard.
Yes, pretty much.
And then they are also on Office 365. They are bringing in LinkedIn to integrate it with Office 365.
That makes sense because they've bought LinkedIn a couple of years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't really done anything with it.
Not much.
So, integrating something with it does make sense.
So they're bringing that in. So those were the big key things that really came out of there. But the next few weeks we'll have the next hardware event. So excited for that. I'm hoping. The next
New
thing,
surfaces, hopefully.
we'll see.
Surface phone. Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Right after Wes bought an Android.
I know.
You know that would happen, right?
That's when it will happen. Yeah,
That's exactly
if it's going
when
to
it's gonna
happen,
happen.
this is when it will
It's a
happen.
good thing this is paid
what's
off.
going to happen? Okay, I'm calling this. If they ever make another phone, it's going to be a Surface phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to run Android, but it'll be a heavily skinned version of Android. I'm not going to go as far as say it's going to be kind of how
Microsoft Launcher
Fire
2.0.
OS. No, I'm not going to say it's going to be like how Amazon does with their Fire OS, where it's Android technically, but it's not really Android.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's going to be like stock Android. It's going to have the Play, well, not stock, but it's going to have the Play Store. It's going to have all this stuff, but then it'll have like the Microsoft Launcher built right in and all
Microsoft
this stuff.
Store.
All the Microsoft apps there and ready to go.
Yeah.
If they make a phone again, that's what it's going to be. That's my guess.
I'd be right there with you.
Okay, so this is actually the thing that, like, bar none, I can point at Microsoft and say they are doing this right. And that's the fact that Windows 10 is Windows with a 1 and a 0 after it instead of an X. Like, this is just, it's not, that's like, yeah, like, bully for you, Microsoft. You didn't screw this up when you named Windows 10. Good
Well,
freaking
I think
job.
they saw macOS 10 for so many years and saw everyone calling it macOS X because that's what it was.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, let's not do that."
Yes. And then when they name a product with an X, which they did because they're also kind of stupid in addition to everyone else, but they're less stupid than everyone else because the Xbox One X is not the Xbox One 10, it's the Xbox One X. It's an X. They branded it with an X. You're supposed to call it an X. That actually makes sense. So good job, Microsoft. You aren't messing up your naming as badly as everybody else.
That's awesome.
Caleb doesn't care about this subject at all.
No,
Oh my God.
not at all.
Just
Well, let's move on a little bit away from Microsoft. Something I did want to bring up that recently just happened that I think we all can comment on was actually Facebook confirmed about 50 million accounts were hacked.
yeah.
Yep.
And so basically they just came out and they had talked about it. They said, after discovering the attack, Facebook has reset the access tokens of 50 million users affected, as well as another 40 million users as a precautionary measure.
Yeah.
So basically, as I was reading onto this, what it was is you could go onto a view as mode to your profile. So basically, you would view your profile as if someone came to visit it. And that was where they had you could get a token to sign in or be able to get information, and that token was then being used by the hackers to go to yours, not only yours, but then view as your friends, and then just keep going through and get a lot of information that way. So the way that they stopped it is they had to basically sign you out of your apps or your phones or wherever you were signed into. If you were someone that had used this view as recently, then that's what they did. So. And they didn't say what information was hacked or what, but we're assuming, obviously.
Yeah.
It's Facebook, so you have a lot of stuff. More than likely have a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
The way that I understood it was that basically what it allowed people to do was to view your account, like you said, Wes, as a friend instead of as a complete stranger. So if you had your privacy set up such that, like, nobody can see what's going on with your private posts and stuff like that unless they're your friend, then the hackers would have been able to see it, which actually isn't that useful because, like, most of the time you're not posting like your social security number or credit card number in a Facebook
Right.
post for your friends or something.
Wait,
like,
we're not supposed to do that?
Landon, we've talked about this, man. Just so you know,
Just
like,
did that earlier. Dang it.
Someone asked me for that and my dog's first name and
yeah,
my favorite teacher
mother's
in middle
maiden
school.
name and street you grew up on. So anyways, the point is, like, it's not like there's a whole ton of like private information they can get that way, except for like maybe your email address and your phone number and stuff like that if you've got that on your profile and visible to your friends. But what they would be able to do is see all that information, and then they would be able to sell these access tokens is kind of the idea. So like, you know, if people are looking for the kind of analytics data that they can get off of Facebook, then you can sell these access tokens. People will be able to go kind of more deep into your timeline on Facebook and get the analytics information that they want out of there, even if the information that they're viewing was originally secured to the point where only your friends should have been able to see it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of how it was working, and I actually kind of appreciate Facebook being open about like, yes, this happened, here's exactly what happened, here's what we discovered, and here's what we did to combat it. And basically what they did is they proactively signed every affected account out for you. So if it's the kind of thing where like sometime today you opened up the Facebook app on your phone and it made you sign in again, that's why. It's because your account was affected by this hack. Somebody had the access token for your account, and Facebook forced a logout on your account so that that token would be reset so that they wouldn't have it anymore. So good job, Facebook. If you're at all concerned about it, just make sure that you sign out of Facebook and sign back in on any of your stuff, because that token resets whenever you do a fresh sign in from a device. So, you know, that's really the only thing you need to do. Don't change your passwords. They didn't have your passwords. They didn't have any of that stuff. But they did have access to a lot of data that they really shouldn't have been able to have access to. And this is why social media is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you try to limit yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so did want to make everyone aware of that if you hadn't heard or whatnot, because I hadn't heard it actually till today. So,
well, it was just earlier today that they said something about it, I think. So,
oh, was it? Okay,
yeah.
My bad then. Well, I guess I'm on the cutting edge.
You got it. You're on the cusp right there.
I was like, oh,
Wes,
I didn't see this.
Right on the edge.
Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna have Caleb. We'll move on to Caleb, and then he'll start the gaming news right after.
I just want to admit before we move on that I just about called you Wedge, Wes, because I was going to say you're right on the edge, Wes, and then I combined those two and said you're right on the wedge. So that was a weird thing that just happened. For any of our listeners who caught me fumbling with that just a second ago, that was what was happening. Okay. I was also watching Star Wars earlier today, and Wedge Antilles, so maybe that was, I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about the iPhone XS.
Oh boy,
it's never not going to suck to say that name. Okay, so if you bought one of these things, dear listener, you may have noticed that the selfie camera has been doing some weird stuff. So basically, what's been happening is there's something going on with the XS and the XS Max with the selfie camera, so the camera that's embedded in the Face ID sensor on the front of the device, where it's basically like really heavily smoothing skin texture on people in less than ideal lighting circumstances. And it kind of looks like what's happening is like if you have a phone that has a quote-unquote beauty mode on it that basically just takes your skin and turns it into like a textureless flesh-colored mass.
I've seen those.
That is supposed to smooth scars and zits and other blemishes and stuff like that away. Like, that's the whole point of it. It's a beauty mode. Anyways, real popular in China. A lot of Android flagships have started including the mode as an optional mode that you can turn on if you're crazy or you're really into Instagram or whatever. And, like that's the thing. It's a mode. It's fine. Whatever. Nobody cares. But the problem here is that it's like all selfies are doing this on the iPhone XS and XS Max. So that's kind of a problem. Good thing is this seems like a software issue. It seems like in low light circumstances, the camera is just being really super overzealous about trying to smooth the image to try and keep like noise out of the picture. And it's overdoing it. So this is something that could be fixed in a software update, but just so that, all of you XS owners, if you're out there, just so you're aware, if it seems like your face looks weird in your selfies, you're not wrong.
Basically, your phone thinks you're ugly when you turn the light on.
And it's not just your face; it's the camera.
And it tries to fix it. It's like, oh, you should have this.
It's not just that your face is weird; the camera is doing weird things. So, there you go. Also, speaking of the XS and XS Max, the YouTube app was updated earlier. Yesterday or today. It was yesterday or today to support HDR playback. So you'll be able to see actual, that's assuming that the YouTube video itself actually supports HDR, which there aren't necessarily a ton of those. But if you own a bunch of movies that you can watch on YouTube, or you're going to rent a movie on YouTube, most of those should support HDR at this point. So
I would also assume movie trailers.
Yes, a lot of movie trailers will as well.
And stuff.
And holy crap, did you guys see the new trailer for the Dark Phoenix movie? It's coming out next year.
No, I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah, the next main series X-Men movie. I'm super stoked for that. Anywho, I'll bet that's in HDR, and now you can watch it if you have an iPhone XS or XS
See,
Max.
he wrapped it in there.
In
nice
HDR
little bow.
on the YouTube app.
That was good. Good
there
save.
You go. Got it covered. Last piece of Apple news, actually, not a whole lot of Apple news this week, but Mojave is out now for macOS, and you can download it and install it. I have installed it on 2 different computers, and what I have realized is that the thing I was looking forward to the most, which was the dynamic desktop wallpaper.
Oh, yeah.
It is actually pretty cool. But I started actually paying attention to the thing while it was changing throughout the day. And what I realized is I could go take a 4K time-lapse video for, 24 hours. And then I could take every half hour, just grab a snapshot of that video and put those all into a folder, and then put that folder on my computer, and then load it up in macOS and say that I want that to be my wallpaper. I want the wallpaper to change every 30 minutes. I want to do it in order, and then pick which image I want to start on. And I have made my own dynamic desktop wallpaper. That's literally all it is. So
it's actually pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, but it's not as cool as I was hoping it would be. Yeah, I was hoping it would be like an actual time lapse taking place on, like a smooth change throughout the day. But no, it's every 30 minutes it just changes to a new image. And okay, cool. I guess. So not as awesome as I was hoping it to be. But yeah, I guess the rest of the OS is all right.
I guess.
No, it's not a major update. They've made some changes to stability stuff and that kind of thing, and there's been a few improvements. The voice memos app is there, which is kind of nice to have a built-in voice recording app just on the computer when you get it, because that wasn't there before. They've made some improvements to the way that screenshots happen, so now you can take a screenshot and then annotate it, mark it up, share it with people right there without having to save it first. So you can actually take the screenshot, make the changes, send it to somebody, and then delete it. You don't have to save it at all, which is kind of nice. You don't even have to worry about that step, because I actually do that in my workflow at work fairly regularly, is take a screenshot, mark it up, and send it to people. I don't want to save it, and so it just goes onto my desktop for 2 seconds and then goes into the trash immediately. So they're skipping a step there, which is kind of nice. And the other thing they introduced that's kind of neat is the continuity camera, which basically means you can use your phone to scan documents and take pictures to insert into documents on your computer. You can trigger that right from your computer. So basically, if you've got a receipt or something like that you need to scan into something in Safari for work-related purposes or something like that, you don't want to try and scan that with your computer because it's stupid. But you also don't want to have to submit it via your phone, via the browser on your phone, because the web system is designed for desktop computers, not phones. So you open it up on your desktop computer, you get to where you need to go, and when it says that it wants to, attach your scanned receipt or something like that, you trigger the continuity camera, scan it with your phone, and then, submit it via your desktop. And that's actually kind of super cool for professional people. I don't know that it's going to be super useful for people at home, but I mean, the camera on your phone is way better than the camera on your Mac, because the camera on your Mac is a like 15-year-old pile of crap.
That's one that I'm amazed they have not updated ever.
Right? Like, what in the heck? The FaceTime camera on Macs is basically unchanged since the very first FaceTime camera on a Mac. Like, it's just been
Pretty
really
much.
long time. Like, I don't know what they're thinking, because, you know, like, I'm sitting here holding an iPhone 7 Plus that has a selfie camera on it that is like 1,000,000 times better than that. Why don't they just put that in their new Macs? Like, it's tiny.
It doesn't even need a
so
notch.
tiny. Yeah. Anyways, it's weird, but yeah, the continuity camera is kind of nice. So yeah, Mojave's out. Woohoo.
Yay.
Cool.
Now we're going to have a whole bunch of people outside of the US, and actually probably a whole bunch of people inside the US, mispronouncing the name of macOS for the next year because they don't know how to pronounce Mojave. And
Mojave.
I know. I'm just waiting to be talking to somebody. They'll be like, yeah, macOS Mojave is pretty cool. Like, oh gosh, no. So speaking of Apple being terrible at naming things, oh my gosh.
I think I'm going to call it that from now on.
Mojave.
So how's Mojave, buddy?
You know what? I call it the iPhone XS. So yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You go right ahead. This is Apple's fault. They deserve it, as far as I'm concerned.
Mojave. Go ahead.
Okay, so gaming. I'm gonna talk about some gaming right now. And actually, along with macOS Mojave being released, Alto's Odyssey is now available on the Mac App Store. So that actually came as a part of the App Store update with Mojave. It was released at the same time. But yeah.
Did you buy it?
I did not, because I already own it for my phone and also my TV. And my TV screen is a whole lot bigger than my computer screen. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
I guess if you had like one of the new 5K iMacs, that's where it could potentially be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
even then, it's only a 27-inch monitor.
Yeah.
Instead of like on your TV, that's, you know, a lot bigger.
Yes. Exactly. And it's $10. Like, really, if you have an Apple TV, there's no reason to buy this for your Mac. Just spend $5, get it on your Apple TV, and play it on your TV, and that's a great experience right there. And then you also get it for your iPad and your iPhone and whatever. But I guess if you don't have an Apple TV, you just have a Mac, you don't even have like iOS devices at all, then I mean it's worth $10. And it plays great on a big screen. Like, there's a temptation to say that it's just an endless runner. Those only make sense on phones. And while I agree that is true for the vast majority of endless runners, I think that the Alto games, just because of the visual aesthetic, actually do make a lot of sense on big screens. So if you've got an iMac and you don't have any other devices that'll play Alto's Odyssey, then... or, well, Alto's Adventure, technically, because this is just Alto's Adventure, not Alto's Odyssey. Though that one, they did say there's a good chance that one will be coming later. It makes sense in that context. But,
Gotcha.
You know, just something to be aware of. It costs more, and if you have iOS devices, it doesn't make sense to get it for your Mac.
And be sure to crash land to save your progress before it shuts down on you. On Alto's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Should we bring that up, Landon?
Somebody we know has learned that the hard way.
Twice.
A couple times.
I'm
over it because I beat the game, so take that, Alto's Odyssey.
I will beat you.
Man. Okay, so speaking of smartphone games, since we're on the topic,
Ooh.
segue. Dragalia Lost is out.
Yes.
So that is Nintendo's latest mobile game for smartphones and other smart devices that use smartphone operating systems. Yeah. It was really funny because my iPad was actually the thing that told me about it first. My phone didn't bother.
Interesting.
So what Dragalia Lost is it is an action RPG. So think it's kind of like Diablo a little bit. You play it with one finger. You have a character whose stats and equipment you can change, and you just run around a world attacking monsters, and there's a story progression kind of as you go. But it's not like a full-fledged like heavy RPG where like you're making, you know, hard, difficult choices that change the entire outcome of the storyline, and the focus is very much on the story. The focus is on kitting out your character and killing a whole bunch of stuff. So if you like the Diablo action RPG format, then that's what this is. No turn-based stuff going on, no, nothing like that. It's all just run and kill and slash and shapeshift into dragons, and it's pretty cool. So I've played maybe an hour of it so far, and it is similar to the other Nintendo games that we've gotten so far. Yes, there are in-app purchases, so it's free to download, and then you can pay in-app purchases to get stuff. But it's not overbearing. It's actually pretty friendly where those things are concerned. And so far, I'm having fun. I like action RPGs, and this feels like a pretty good action JRPG. It is a JRPG, kind of in the feel and format. Feels like an anime and that kind of thing. But if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, Nintendo has so far demonstrated that they're very capable of making high-quality smartphone games. And this looks to be yet another one.
Awesome. I'm actually downloading it right now.
I'm going to move on. Oh, there you go. There you go. I was wondering why everyone else was looking at their phones. Just come on, guys, you're not listening to me at all. Just nothing important to say.
We're actually playing Minecraft over here. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. Okay. Well, that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up my gaming news real fast so that I can stop talking, I guess. It is the season of video game releases right now. We've had a couple of very high-profile games released over the past couple of weeks. Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and we're going to have a whole bunch more over the next couple of months. So I'm going to try my darndest to actually stay up to date with all of the games that are going to be releasing each week in the podcast, so that we're not falling super behind like we kind of did the last month. So coming up this week on October 2nd, Forza Horizon 4 is releasing for the Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. So Forza Horizon 4 is the sequel to Forza Horizon 3. Not sure if that was clear to everyone.
Yes.
But this time it is set in Great Britain, and this time it is also a MMO, kind of.
And did you see the usually they have main cars that they try and promote? Did you see the main ones that they promote in this one?
No, I didn't.
It is all the 007 cars.
Oh, of course, Astons. That is so thematically appropriate for a game set in Great Britain.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, I saw those and I'm like, does this game actually... I've never been into racing games at all. I really haven't. But this one, for some reasons, I have the Game Pass, so I'll probably play it because it comes on that. But this one, I'm like, wow, I'm actually interested in trying this out. So I'm going to, and I'll let you know.
Well, I mean, as a Forza Horizon game instead of a main series Forza game, it's kind of more like an arcade racer than it is like a simulation racer. And since it's going to be kind of MMO, I think that's going to make it feel even more like an arcade racer than the previous games have. So, it's less about the defined races as much as it is about the just you're on a road with a bunch of people and you're going crazy and it just feels absolutely nuts and wild. And that was what is fun about the old arcade racers. So it looks like they've kind of nailed that with that. So that's coming out on the 2nd. So it's a couple of days away as of this recording. But by the time you are listening to this, it's probably will be the 2nd, actually, 1st or 2nd. So soon for all you Xbox and Windows 10 PC owners.
But if you did buy the Ultimate Edition, you are playing it currently.
Right. Yes.
Because you got the free couple days early.
Yeah. And actually, so that is also the case for the next two games I'm going to talk about. So on October the 5th is the release date for WWE 2K19. So that's the next World Wrestling Entertainment game coming out. It looks an awful lot like WWE 2K18 with some new characters and but I'm pretty sure the graphics and fighting engine and all that stuff are the same. So, not like a huge upgrade. It's very much it's a sports game. It's like buying Madden every year. You get new rosters for the teams, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know why anybody would buy that, but if you want to spend a lot of money on it, you can play it on the 2nd instead of the 5th. That's an option. If you pre-order the fancy pants version of the game, you can play it 3 days early.
Do you actually get fancy pants?
Yes. Fancy pants.
Oh my gosh. If there is not legitimately a fancy pants version of this game that comes with a pair of fancy pants, then they are missing out on an opportunity.
Definitely missing out.
That would be the game that would come with fancy pants.
Sometimes you must wear stretchy pants. Anyways, I actually kind of hate Nacho Libre as a movie. It just, I'm not sure why that quote came to mind, because I kind of despise that movie.
Is amazing. Hence, go ahead. So
the other game that is also releasing on the 5th, so again, couple days after the podcast releases, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the follow-up to 2017's Assassin's Creed Origins, which was set in ancient Egypt. This one is set in ancient Greece. So Origins was the origin of the Assassin's Order. That was what you were playing through there. Odyssey is actually set about 600 years before that. So the Assassin's Creed doesn't exist for another 600 years after this game takes place. So not really sure why.
I'm sure there's going to be little hints.
I guess. I don't know. But if you're a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and really if you're a huge fan of Origins, which a lot of people were, a lot of people thought that was the breath of fresh air that the Assassin's Creed franchise really desperately needed after stuff like Unity and that kind of thing. Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks to be more of the same. One of the things I kind of appreciate about it is that there actually is a playable, when you start the game, you get to pick which protagonist you are. You can be the female protagonist or the male protagonist, a lot like the original Mass Effect games gave you the option to be the male Commander Shepard or the female Commander Shepard. And the game plays exactly the same. Doesn't matter which one you pick, but representation in games is great. So awesome. But otherwise it just looks like a fun Assassin's Creed game, very much in the style of Origins. That will be available on the 5th, unless you order the fancy pants version, in which case you can play it on the 2nd.
In your fancy pants.
Yes, exactly. And the last major game that's going to be coming out this week is Super Mario Party. That will be coming to the Switch on the 5th. So for those of you that really like unbalanced gameplay and throwing things at your friends, this one is for you.
I've actually heard it's pretty cool. I've saw some gameplay for it for the Switch, and if you have two Switches, the maps and games actually involve both Switches.
Yeah,
that you have to like move them around and do stuff.
That's pretty cool.
So, like one, you have to have like you're putting people in tubes, but you have to move the Switch so it connects to another tube to move the next person, and then turn the switch, and then on both of them. So you have to. It's interesting how they do it. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And the thing that I really like is that the way that you sync the two switches together is you line them up next to each other, and then you just swipe your finger across both screens.
Yep.
In a line, and that's all that they need to go, okay, this is the orientation that we are to each other. Cool. So it does actually look pretty cool. Kind of a neat technology showcase. Nintendo always does those. Well, they do those with their good consoles. So, you think back to the Wii, there was a lot of games on there that were like, this is a fun game and a cool technology showcase. And we got a lot of those for the Switch too. This looks like another one of them. Yeah. And I just wanted to, I wanted to say regarding Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because I have been playing it. There will be another video hitting our YouTube channel about that. But I want to say that game is a great technology showcase.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Yeah. That is about the best thing that I think I can say about the game, because other than that, it feels too much like an expansion to Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I could see that.
And I paid a lot of money for that game for it to just be an expansion to Rise of the Tomb Raider. So we're going to have to see if like the DLC and stuff that's going to be coming later, because there will be DLC coming later, and we don't know what forms that's going to take. Whether or not that's going to be able to justify the price that I paid for the game is still totally up in the air. And I also haven't actually finished the main story campaign. So there might, they might be able to pull it out in the second half of the game. But so far, it feels an awful lot like an expansion to Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is not a bad thing. That means that like Wes, I sent a picture to Wes so he knows this, of my Lara Croft standing covered in mud up against a mud-caked wall, hiding, holding a knife, virtually invisible, with a pile of 3 corpses at her feet.
Just dead bodies.
Just bodies stacked up right there. And what was awesome about that is because that was that moment, like right before that picture was taken, I had peeked around that wall and shot an explosive barrel that was next to a dude with my bow. So that barrel blew up, catapulted that dude through the air, and then everybody else was suddenly on guard, and they started looking for me. But nobody had seen where I shot from. So they're kind of wandering around quietly. I'm totally camouflaged up against this wall. They walk right in front of me. I pickaxe them in the back, stab them in the neck, and drop them on the ground at my feet. Then the next guy turns the corner, sees the corpse on the ground, goes, whoa! And then I pickaxe him on the back, stab him in the throat. And I did that to the next 2 guys that came through, took the picture. But the best part is, before I shot the exploding barrel, I did like this awesome conga line of like 4 dudes in a row. They were all facing the same direction. I ran up behind one, stealth attacked him in the back, and then ran up to the next one, stealth killed him, ran up to the next one, stealth killed him, ran up to the next one, stealth. It was like I stealth killed like 7 guys in a row or something like that. Cleared out this entire cavern. Nobody knew I was there. So as much as I say that, yes, the game does feel an awful lot like an expansion to Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's also reminding me why I loved Rise of the Tomb Raider so much. Like
it's
the
good.
the story is great. Lara Croft is an awesome protagonist. I really like all of that stuff, but that gameplay is just so dang satisfying for me. So yeah, like I have mixed feelings about it, but I am still definitely having fun.
Good. I'm glad you are. Because you and me both paid a lot of money for it, and I'm having fun with it too. I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
I'm more of the completionist, though, so if you actually looked on the Xbox app and saw how much time I have on this thing, oh boy.
Yeah. And you're not that much that far ahead of me either, as far as I know.
No, but I do have a lot. I can't remember my completion. I could probably tell you if I looked it up, but like, I know I'm not that far into the story. I'm about where you are, but I've got a lot of documents and the caches and because I'm such a completionist, it's terrible.
Yeah, my completion rate is at like 7% or something like that, and I've been I'm about halfway through the story. I think I'm about 7% through the game according to the completion meter, maybe 10% the last time I checked, and I've been playing it for about 7 hours, I want to say.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about the story for me. It's the story and the gameplay. I love the puzzles. I love murderizing a whole bunch of people. And I really enjoy, you know, the character of Lara Croft and the story that they have spun around her. So I'm hoping that they kind of like subvert my expectations a little bit with the story in the second half of the game. That would kind of help justify the price of entry a little bit to me. But even still, like, I'm having a blast. It is so much fun to play, and I'm going to be upgrading like my gaming rig sometime this winter, which will make the graphics better, and then it'll be an even better game. So, you know, that's
nice.
That's one thing I like about PC gaming.
Yep. That is nice. Cool. Was that all your news?
Yes, that is it for me.
So one thing I did want to mention I thought was kind of interesting and exciting. Sony now enables crossplay for Fortnite.
Yes.
That is huge. That's actually, so it was a couple days ago, they actually put it in like a beta and allowed players to test the crossplay gameplay, progression, and commerce across all platforms. So if you have an Epic account that has your Sony PlayStation, a link to it, you can now link your Switch, your PC, and Xbox to it now too, and your progression will now combined.
And your smartphone.
Oh, and your smartphone.
Yeah, which is weird.
Which is pretty cool. Like that's awesome. That's a win, I feel. But it's also a huge win. What's also a huge win is they also on here said that not only were they doing that, they also mentioned that they're making an entire policy change that isn't only tied to Fortnite. And the company's hopes to expand the same policy across the entire organization to support this change.
That is
awesome.
huge.
This is huge news for Sony.
Yeah.
And just everybody. Like, this is going to bring, okay, let's just say, what is it, 800,000 consoles? 800,000 more people.
It's more than that. Holy crap. Like, I don't even know how many PS4s they've sold, but it's in the millions. Like,
or 800,000. Yeah, it's 80 million. I think, sorry, I said 800,000.
Yeah. Like,
how many more people just
it's
to...
a ton.
Exactly. Like,
such a huge player base
awesome.
for that console, which is actually the thing that I love about it the most, because Sony doesn't have to do this. Sony is making a crap ton of money off of the PlayStation 4, and they have such a huge player base for the console that they don't actually need to crossplay with anyone else in order to get people that don't have a console to buy their console instead of an Xbox.
Right.
You know, like, they're not trying to convert people from Xbox, but getting people that don't have anything to buy a PS4, that is such an easy sell just because there's so much multiplayer and a lot of really great exclusive games. So Sony doesn't have to do this. Like, they don't, but they're doing it anyways because it's the cool thing to do, you know? Like,
it's awesome.
And I really appreciate that. Like, I like that a lot.
Yep. I think a lot of people, even me, I don't own a PlayStation, probably never will. That's awesome. I just think it's going to bring a lot more to the gaming community, and I'm hoping I get my war, guys. I want my war. And you know
Yes.
what war I'm talking about.
Yes.
I just think that would bring such camaraderie. Like,
Actual console war.
like, oh, I would
Dude,
love that.
Wes, I'd be on the other side.
Dude,
You're
I'm
going
okay with this.
down.
Okay, this is the thing. I want you to imagine. Okay, here you go, Caleb. Let's say you did buy Overwatch, okay? And all of a sudden you're in a game and you see a tracer supporting an Xbox logo. What are you going to do?
I'm going to murderize them.
Exactly.
Actually, no, I'm going to die because I'm going to be playing Lucio, and how the heck am I supposed to kill a tracer as Lucio? Like,
Any of them. You're going to see them. Come on, what kind of camaraderie? It's like, that guy's an Xbox player, everyone. Let's get him. You know what I mean? Like, or
actually,
vice
you're
versa.
Right. I would see the tracer. I would die to the tracer. I would immediately switch to a Brigida so that I could kill the tracer. That's how this would go down.
Wouldn't that be just so fun, though? Like, on
yeah.
any game. I just put out that example, but, oh, how cool. I don't know. I think you can make a lot of money doing that, especially if you do something like, hey, the top league in Overwatch on the Xbox versus the top Overwatch league on the PlayStation, have at it this Saturday, and then just Twitch stream it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I could totally see the Overwatch League making like a separate league for the console
Exactly.
space. And that's kind of the thing, because like the number of players on Overwatch for PC, like they kind of function inside of their own space that I don't know. There's a lot of PC players, and they don't really have to worry about anything else. So that's why the pro scene is focused on that right now. But if you were to mix the consoles together, then you would have a big enough player base that you could start drawing a pro scene for just the consoles. And
oh, it'd be so cool.
That would be kind of cool. Like, you know, I don't know, call it the minor leagues or something like that if you want to be all like high and mighty about the PC or something. But it would just be fun to be able to have like okay, here's a tournament to find the best Xbox players in the world. Here's a tournament to find the best PlayStation players in the world. And here's a tournament to find out which console is just better at the game.
I think that would be awesome. I really do. Well, even if I'm on the losing side, I don't care.
Yeah, you totally would be. It'll totally be the PlayStation.
Oh, dude, PlayStation's going down. I don't know,
because I'll be running support for them. So
I'll be. I don't know, but you and I haven't played against each other. This would be interesting. We're just gonna have two Brigidas going at it, not caring. That's what's gonna happen.
Brigida duel.
Oh man. Oh look, there's Caleb. Let's go over here and duel. Let's screw the team. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, so really exciting news for that. I think. And I think a lot of other people that I've talked to, Caleb's excited now. Caleb's getting a PS4 today.
Yay.
So he'll join us with that. The next thing I want to talk about, which actually might be really interesting, unless Sony does this, but yes, keyboard and mouse support is coming to Xbox One. It is now out for. It is now out in the Insider program that they're testing it out. So basically,
I saw this and I thought, oh, Caleb's going to get an Xbox instead of a PlayStation.
That is like legitimately game changing because like seriously, that's one of the main reasons I'm on PC. There's two main reasons I am a PC gamer. One is because my game library follows me forever and ever, which is great, and I really appreciate that. Reason number two is I'm really good with a PC or with a keyboard and a mouse. And consoles, like controllers, just they feel like trying to sculpt with a backhoe. Like that's what it feels like trying to make a marble sculpture using a backhoe. It's just imprecise and obnoxious, and that's how it feels to me. And yes, I know it's the so uncivilized gif of Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith and his whole tossing the blaster away. That's how I feel whenever I say that, but it's true. That's how it feels to me. It feels uncivilized. So, like having that on a console is suddenly like I don't have any problems with the console hardware or game libraries or anything like that. Like that's great, and the convenience is kind of unparalleled. So yeah, that's compelling.
Yeah. And so basically the way this is going to work that I've researched and found is it's not that they're going to have the support and then all games get it and everything works. It's the developers that have to put the support on their games.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's up to them to have it.
That makes sense because these games are made for a controller.
Correct.
And if they're made for a PC, they're made for keyboard and mouse. So I don't think it would be extremely difficult because they could almost just port their other game, like port the parts of the game they need to over to their console versions.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be too super difficult, but I think it's smart.
Yeah, why not?
It's another way for Microsoft to potentially get more people buying an Xbox.
Bingo. And bringing true RTS to the Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of games that would run. I mean, you could put Age of Empires on it. I mean, how dope.
Speaking as a guy who did play the original StarCraft on a Nintendo 64... oh yeah.
Oh yes. Yes. I can't believe that.
That was so terrible. So terrible.
I had never played it on 64, but yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, like
Diablo
think
was
about,
on there too, wasn't it? Or was that the Super Nintendo?
I don't know.
Anyway, I know Diablo was on a console.
Diablo would actually make a heck of a lot more sense than StarCraft. I mean, like StarCraft is
terrible.
Yeah, but like
Diablo.
You need a mouse. You need keys.
You got to remember Diablo before they did Diablo 3. It was a mouse. Remember? You had to click for them to go.
I remember,
so
but
you had a joystick. Click, click,
but
click.
The way Diablo is set up is it could run on a console much better than StarCraft is not.
No. Yes, I agree with you.
That's kind of the thing. Like they could have Diablo as that style of game. They could have made that work well on a controller. Whether or not they did, I'm not saying they did, but they could have. Whereas StarCraft, that just makes no sense, and it literally didn't. It was terrible. It was horrible. Just.
Well, anyway. That's all the gaming news that I have and want to talk about. But we definitely will probably have a lot more, obviously, next week. We'll have a lot more games we'll probably talk about that are coming out. Caleb will probably have more Sony information for us.
I'm going to have some first impressions on what it's like to have a PlayStation.
No, I'm excited. That'll be really cool to have that so we could really compare. And then if they come out with crossplay, I'm definitely owning you.
I should specify a PlayStation that is like actually currently supported because I do have a PS2, but we're kind of past the first impression stage for that console at this point, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Because is Ethernet on that one?
Yes. Yes. So I have a Slim. I'm not sure if the original PS2 did.
I can't remember if it did
but
or not.
This one did. You could plug it into a network, and you could do quote-unquote online multiplayer, but Sony had absolutely nothing to do with it. It was basically like you'd plug it in, you'd boot up the game, and then the games, like the developer had to maintain servers for it, Battle.net style, in order for the games to work. And all of the servers for all of those games went down like a decade ago. So, it was not a huge selling point.
Well, anyway, I think we're done. And if you guys have any more questions or anything or want to get in contact with us, you can visit our website at callingallplatforms.com. Or if you want to see some sweet, awesome, epic videos of gaming and Lara Croft being a sweet stealth killer.
Or Caleb dying as Lara Croft a whole bunch of times in a row, because that's an option.
Yep, that's an option too. And that's actually the video, Caleb dying a whole lot as Lara Croft.
Yep. Yes.
You can go visit our Calling All Platforms videos on YouTube. And I guess we'll have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.